That old man got the tractor beam out of commission, or this is going to be a real short trip. Okay, hit it!
Hey everybody, welcome to Group Therapy, a show for Star Wars collectors. We get together every other Friday night, live on YouTube, and try to talk each other into spending a small fortune on hot toys, statues, helmets, and prop replicas. If they're expensive, we need a complete set. I'm your host, Steve, and tonight I am joined by the old reliable CC. How you doing, CC?
I'm good. Happy Friday. It was a long week, even though it was technically a short week. I don't know about you, but I had President's Day off. But oh, you worked?
I'm getting overtime right now, so I'm working every freaking hour I can get. So
That's how Steve funds his collection. I've got a side hustle, but that's overtime is if I can get overtime, I'd totally leverage it. They're actually my boss keeps saying he's working on getting me overtime so that hopefully I can quit the side hustle. And not have to, work on the weekends, but we'll see. Because he also makes me work on the weekends, so there's that. I'm like, there's no winning.
I'd like to work an 8-hour day instead of 12-hour days, which I've been doing for over a year.
Yeah. I miss 10s. I used to work 4 10s.
Uh-huh.
God, I miss that so much. So right now it's like the 980, so you do like 9-hour days in an 80-hour pay period.
I'd like to do 880 if I could convince him to do it, because, get that extra day.
Mm-hmm.
Every weekend's a 3-day weekend. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what so that was exactly what I did, the 4 10s for years. I think it was like 3 years. I worked.
Oh, you're doing 410 every week. So you basically do 80. Okay.
Yeah. So every weekend was a 3-day weekend. God, I miss that so much.
Yeah.
But they talk about how it's, I don't think it's ever been done before at my agency. And they're like, well, people tend to get tired after 8 hours. And I was like, not when you're used to working 12s and 14s, but okay. I'm like, 10s are a walk in the park. I'm doing 9s. Like, what's
you get tired after 8 hours?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't believe that for a second. It's most of the people I work with, they're used to, at least my old agency back home, they went from 10s to 12s, and they were like, you know what, the 12 is actually kind of pushing it. Like after 12 hours, you're pretty beat, especially with like rotating shifts and stuff like that. And they were itching to go back to 410s. I forget who squashed it, but it's must be nice Travel the Jedi. I mean, I don't mind it.
Nice. 80 hours a week?
Oh, 80. I thought that was a pay period. Oh my God. I have totally done that before. So when I did like 40 hours at my full-time hustle, and then I would do like 2 14s at my side hustle. So I know what that feels like. And of course, when I had to stay late, it was like torture because you've already been there so long. Another reason why I started bringing a lot more collectibles to the office is because, like, I'm here all the time. I might as well see them. And Takathri asked, this is not Mustafar. That's actually a Batman Begins art print. I know. It's all... Sorry, I'm looking at all the Star Wars stuff. It's just I'm on the wrong side of the room.
Stuff. Anyway, just real quick, in case people are wondering, are they going to be stuck with me and you all night?
Stuck with? Why do you say that like that's a bad thing? We can carry this. Come on. I have a little bit of back pain from carrying this, but no, I'm kidding.
It's true. It's true. You're definitely the most reliable, though. The last show, you really let us down. I don't know what to say.
I know. And I felt badly, but like I was sitting there on the couch and my mom was catching up on emails. And so I was like, I just have enough time to be in the chat. But it was only her second time visiting me since I've moved to Colorado, which it was my 4-year anniversary this week.
You brought her on the show, but you didn't.
Yeah, I know I didn't. Oh, well, maybe next time.
So let's see. Rob said he was on his way. I don't know. Maybe he's fighting with puppies right now or something. I don't know. I thought he got rid of them
They
all.
still have a lot of the puppies. I thought a lot of them had been sold.
He had 2 on the last show.
Okay.
So I don't know, but he said he was on his way. Well, I don't know if that was just. Let's see. It says "Be with you soon," and that was 15 minutes ago.
Is that where we have to translate it? So like, there's American soon, and then you're like British soon, which is not as urgent as American soon.
And then Jason's supposed to join us.
Yes.
And then the most boring, monotone guy ever to grace a YouTube stream will not be joining us tonight, unfortunately. So
I'm so tempted the next stream to just talk as close to Kim Kardashian as I possibly can, with as many ums and likes, which I do a lot of anyway. And it annoys me too, viewers. Don't get me wrong. It kills me too, every and like that you hear out of my mouth. But yeah, just like the, what do they call that? The there's a word for it. Like their style of speaking. It's where it's like their voice is croaky for no reason whatsoever. There's a word for it. In English, it's vocal fry. That's what it's called, vocal fry. Where they're like, yeah, can I get a Starbucks? And like that's no, can't do it. I have no problem with Chris's voice, and I also liked his collection video. But also, I feel like we need a lot more collection videos. So anyone, Traveling Jedi, I know you have a kick-ass collection. If you would like to show your collection on the show, send us photos, whatever, please do. Because I miss them a lot. We used to do a lot more of them. Sometimes I'll pull them up just to get ideas, honestly, on how to display my stuff. And I'm also working on, and I feel like a broken record. It's like you're waiting for that one thing to come in, and then you'll be able to like show off more of your collection. I feel like mine is so much in progress all the time.
You know what the biggest tip you can take from Chris's collection is? No Batman.
Damn. I love this little corner of mine, but it is just like the one corner. It's the rest of the room. Trust me, I'm staring at a lot of stuff. And also, I guess, do we want to talk about our own Maju cases? Good luck with that. I know I've heard they're just a bitch to put together. So may the force be with you. Look at that setup.
Are you calling in from the shop?
Yeah.
What are you doing at the shop right now?
He's a YouTuber, Steve.
Yeah, it's 3:10. Running 10 minutes late. Good morning.
Did you? I guess the wife kicked you out. Finally. Oh well.
The dogs are just too loud. Plus, I've got an awful lot to do today, so it's an early start.
Now we learn if all those noises were the dog or your stomach. And we'll find that out tonight.
Definitely the dogs. Anyway, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you.
Do we do crowdfunding, like a Kickstarter, or for a heater in that office?
I've got it on, but it's going to take a while to warm up.
Oh gosh, you guys always look so cold.
It is cold. It's a huge space to try and heat.
What's the temperature in England right now?
I didn't check when I was in the car then. I don't know, maybe
below above freezing?
Oh, no. Doesn't really go below freezing that often. It's probably about 8 degrees C. I don't know what that is in. Okay.
Well, CC and I
in that imperial stuff.
Fahrenheit. We just for the past 2 days we've been dealing with negative Fahrenheit degree temperatures, so it's
it's not that cold.
Well, what I hate is how like bipolar it is, where it'll be like -7 one day, and the next day the high will be like 43.
Yeah, but we haven't had much of that this year. So.
I mean, the high today, like I was just in like a hoodie and a t-shirt, and even as a Floridian, I didn't feel like I was dying when I was walking around outside.
You said Floridian?
Floridian?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is very, and I think I did see something that Colorado tends to have winter and then like fake spring. So we'll get some days where I'm like sweating outside in a hoodie, and then the next day it'll snow.
Let's see here. I think it was Tukathri. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let's see if I can actually get my screen to share.
Also, do you try to talk Rob into selling all this Batman stuff as much as you do me?
No, it's just you. I like you more than Rob, so I make fun of you more. So.
We know that's not true. No, we know. That's just, now we're just talking crazy talk.
So Tukathri asked me if I was getting this or not, or what I thought about this.
Oh, yeah.
Man, $350. I haven't looked at it. $350 for a 6 scale. Whew.
Is it rooted hair though, or sculpted?
That's sculpted.
Oh, okay.
That looks damn good though.
Their Joker looks real nice.
I guess I don't know much about them. Do they what franchises do they do?
So they have the license for a lot. So DC, I think the tease they have the Matrix, Lord of the Rings, and I feel like I'm missing one. But when they first announced InArt, like, which is an offshoot of Queen Studios, they had like silhouettes of a bunch of characters, and I'm forgetting which ones were all featured. But I know there's a few different, like Batman, Dark Knight, Lord of the Rings.
That head sculpt is killer, huh?
Oh yeah, and these I think are the faces silicone. I think they are. Well, I mean they're 6 scale figures, so that's not totally surprising. But I watched a video review of the Joker. I thought the face paint was a little on the heavy side, but the details as far as the mixed media, the clothing,
the beard is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, this is better than that J&D Arwen that just sold out.
J&D Arwen. Who's that?
So that's the latest controversy, in case you're curious.
J&D Arwen?
We like a controversy.
JN, like John, Nancy, David.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't know there's a Hoboken in Georgia.
Let's see. So this is... Holy shit! Yeah, wow. 27. What scale is this?
This is quarter scale. Third scale. So there was a lot of feedback as to the face not looking accurate.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So it was, to me, it's not there in the eyes. The eyes are too big and they're too blue. But the nose and the mouth, I think, is spot on. But I guess J&D...
I've spent a lot of time looking at that face. And
I think it looks close. I think it looks like Liv Tyler's sister. The eyes are just too big. Anyway. So this went out, it was a Friday. I don't know if it was last Friday or today. It sold out. And then J&D put out a video saying, wow, there's a lot of criticism regarding the face sculpt, but it did sell out. So anyway, and people thought it was just like a very shitty video and like a slap in the face to customers. And a lot of people talked about how like they'd ordered it thinking that because of the feedback regarding the face, they would change it. Like they would revise it.
I don't see any problem with that head sculpt. None at all.
I think if you're going to pay that much, it's got to be closer. I think.
I don't know. I don't see that. I must be bad judge because, man, that looks good to me.
Steve, were you looking at the right eyes when you were looking at her a lot? Like, were they lower or were they...
What are you looking at?
I'm like, which eyes were you looking at? Like up here? Okay. I was just checking because, like...
I mean, it's amazing, the curves. all together. I mean, it's well done. But,
well, a lot of people said thank you, Traveling Jedi. So also this was kind of an interesting choice for their first Lord of the Rings statue. They thought it was kind of surprising that it's not like a terribly major character.
But that's kind of cool, because everybody who's done her, I don't remember seeing her done at all.
Yeah. But their prices, man, they're just
$2,700 for a third scale statue. That's high even for third scale.
Well, also, Big Bad Toy Store their prices tend to be a little high because you're not paying for shipping. But I think I recall like 300 or 3,000 being the kind of expected price between import fees or whatever you're gonna deal with.
Yeah.
You getting that,
Still
Steve?
available. Good, Robbie.
You getting that?
No, thankfully not.
I don't know. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a single problem with the way she looks. Interesting. Traveling Jedi says it's a beautiful head sculpt of whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jason.
Good morning, Jason.
See, Jason, you left me alone with them, and that's why we're looking at Lord of the Rings shit.
See, we're not allowed to look at Batman, but we are allowed to look at Lord of the Rings. That's the rules.
He basically told me to sell off all my Batman stuff and then look at Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I don't collect it, but I think they make some of the most beautiful collectibles.
Yeah, they are nice.
Cece, are you thinking about the Batmobile from Jazz Inc? The new one.
Yeah. I think I'm going to pass. So the only thing is I have seen people, I forget who, but someone had, actually you'd like this. If I can find the picture, as Jason leaves, I think it was something I said. If I could find the picture, I'll send it to you. There's a collector who has all of, I think they might be Hot Toys. So he has like the Tumbler, the 89 Batmobile, and I think there's another one. I'm just forgetting which one it is. But he has them accompanied by Craig Drake prints in like his TV room, and it looks fantastic. I just think they're so big. I don't even know. I don't think I have the space for anything like that.
Do you like the new one?
The 89 Batmobile, or just the new one?
The new one, the muscle car one.
I still prefer the Tumbler, if I'm honest, of the three that I really appreciate, like the Keaton and the Nolan one and obviously this one. But I do like it in vein with the story, as far as it's pretty realistic. I haven't read it yet, but I think there's a little I think it's like a young adult novel actually that they did before the movie came out that explained that car is an old race car that he bought and kind of like souped up. I also love that he stalled it. I think that's kind of realistic. But yeah, I think...
Yeah, that's the one.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I just know it's a slippery slope with me because I get a lot of my obsessive compulsive collecting habits from my stepdad, and that's what he collected was 1/24 scale race cars, like NASCARs especially. I think we have at least 200 of them still. So, but they're just huge. And I've seen, I forget, someone posted a picture of a case, it might have been a Maju case, with like all three or two of them or something like that. And they did look amazing. I just don't, I think I would have space for it, but I don't know if I want to go down that road.
This looks great, but this is not the paint job you're going to get. The paint job you're going to get is going to be bad.
Looks a bit Mad Max to me.
Yeah.
What was that, Jay?
I said, do you think? I feel like because these are licensed, I feel like the paint on them are a little bit more Like there's a little bit more closer attention to detail.
I've repeatedly been let down by the paint jobs, so I'm very skeptical. You know, they look like they're mass applied real hurriedly. Just got a bunch of them to do, and they're very. You can see like every weathering mark is like a symmetrical and a duplicate of the one next to it. And you can see patterns and whatnot because it just seems like they're going super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, this prototype looks good. In particular, I'm thinking about this front end here. See where there's scuff marks on the quarter panel.
Oh yeah.
Right. I can almost guarantee you the final product is not going to look like that. I mean, even this is a little bit like a broad brush. It's maybe not quite as good as it should be, but I don't expect the final. But maybe I could be wrong.
And it's
the good thing about it though is that you know, for the most part, if you take an airbrush to it on certain parts, I mean, I think it'd be an easy fix, right?
Yeah, for $1,500, I don't want to take.
Yeah, you're right.
I should not have to take an airbrush to something, right?
That's true.
I will say,
I've looked at it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cece.
I've heard that before about their paint, but I think the chat got a little contentious regarding the '89 Batmobile. It felt a very, very like us as them conversation with regarding Jazz Inc. because comparing it to Hot Toys because they've just reissued the '89 Batmobile, but it does seem like in all of the differences that fans have pointed out between the Jazz Inc. '89 and the Hot Toys, they paid a lot more attention to the details of the sculpt. So if the paint's not there, at least I think that Jason's right. Like the sculpt, do I want to paint airbrush something I spent $1,500 for? Absolutely not. But I do think that that's kind of like the checks and balances of, well, do you want a really good paint job like the Hot Toys '89, or do you want it to be more accurate to the actual movie one? And
well, I have the Hot Toys Batmobile. I was going to surprise you later on, and actually, but I'll bring it up now. Might as well lose our audience when the show's beginning rather than later. So,
well, Cece, it's interesting you say that too, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to object, but you're right. When you're paying any amount, doesn't matter if it's $1,500 or $15, you shouldn't have to take to better the product on your own. But if it's, like you said, a checks and balances situation where if you're getting more detail, more accuracy in a sculpt, that's great. And this is an interesting example, but I'll point this out. The Sideshow speeder bike, which is infamous for its sort of lack of quality, because you touch it or sneeze near it and the thing just turns to dust. But ironically, if you look at the Hot Toys one, it's very, very, I'll use the term toyetic, right? Ahead of Kenner's famous line. It's very toyish looking and failing, where the Sideshow one, despite having the quality control issues of fragility, it's quite accurate and almost resembles like a studio scale model, which for what it is, I think is a much better build. And it's kind of one of these things, right? It's a difference of like, well, if you're paying that kind of money, should you have to do that? You're right. The paint thing is definitely an issue. I don't know why, because it's not like these are mass produced in large quantities. I think they usually run 100 roughly. Do you guys know?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean,
what was the comparison there?
I'm just trying to compare. The problem with this is I think this has got some blue light shining on it, so that's kind of screwing it up a little bit.
One of the more obvious things that I think was pointed out is that those like fins with the almost like scalloped edges.
Yeah.
It's more accurate on the Jazz Inc. than it is on this. But those look a little like flatter. They're not as exaggerated. Whereas if you could find a photo of those, they're cut off.
It's hard to tell because the lighting is completely different. But I get that comment. Somebody said it looks a little bit more like a toy on the Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Now
That Jazz Inc. one does look good, doesn't it?
I like the fact that the paint is more matte, toned down.
Yeah.
The inside of the engine looks like it's lacking some detail here. So so here's the inside of their engine, and then go to the Hot Toys inside, and it looks like it's got. I don't know if that's lit, but regardless, it's definitely. There's actually a sculpt inside this engine, as opposed to this one. Well, maybe there is a sculpt, huh?
And there's a documentary on YouTube. I think it's from Warner Brothers, and it's on like the making of the Batmobile, and it's the making of every. Well, I mean, I think they did it before. Did they feature the Batman? No, I don't think so. I think it ends at the Nolan trilogy, but it was really cool. They actually had the guys who helped design and build all of the Batmobiles kind of like be in the same room as all of the ones that they designed. And that was really cool to see, like these guys geeking out. And I think it was this one that they said was kind of unusual for everyone involved in the production, and that they sculpted it and then they actually started building it versus taking like a chassis and just building on top of that, if that makes sense. They started with the design and then found a chassis that would work for it, if that makes sense, which is why it's so weird and organic looking. But it's funny, Rob's putting bad ideas in my head, intrusive thoughts. I thought if I were to dabble in the Batmobiles, I don't know if Hot Toys or Jazz Inc. would be the best option. I'm wondering if the Iron Studios ones. So those are polystone. They're not what I'd consider models. They're more like statues. And they've done the Batman animated series and the '89 Batman. And I think that's all the two that they've done.
I think Yost's are polystone. I know the Landspeeder was.
Really?
I
no, this won't be.
It won't be? Okay.
The 66 Batmobile is not.
It's not.
Okay.
All right.
Well, because I think so. The Iron Studios ones are 1/10. They're still quite expensive. I think that's why they're both still available. Is they're about $1,000 and they're 1/10.
They're 1/10. I'm telling you, stay away from their 1/10 scale. It's
the paint.
It's cheap. The paint is ferocious.
Of anything to have bad paint, I think the Batmobile they're less likely to screw up. Versus something like a very dynamic statue, like an Avengers character or Avatar. But I mean, we're talking trust me, I have too much stuff on pre-order right now. So we're talking deep into the future. And with that, can we segue into pickups perhaps so that we can keep the Star Wars people in the room? Okay.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about pickups?
You want me to start then? Oh God.
Well, you felt like you needed to stop the show so we can talk about pickups. So go ahead, Cece.
I'm so rude. 4%ers. My Infus Nest arrived this week, obviously, so I'm considering that as a pickup.
Yeah.
I did order the New Hope Gaffy stick, but I put on a payment plan, so I'm not seeing it anytime soon.
No, I have had no time to watch the opening. What do you, I mean, aside from the breakages that you have, what are your thoughts about the Infus?
We talked about this right before we went live, so I definitely got Steve's. Hence, mine had breakages and his did not. Or Jason. I think Jason got Steve because his was worse.
Steve's had no breakage. That's amazing.
No breakage. Anywho.
Wow.
And they were going to the same state, so I think maybe a UPS driver got confused or something. But it's stunning. I love it. Beautiful. Again, like I did have breakage, but of all the statues I own, if they're going to have breakage, I think it would be this one just because it has so many nuanced details to it. She's gorgeous. I have her in a temporary spot right now. I love the mixed media. I love the orange.
How did you tie the fur, the brown fur?
So I think I'm happy with how I did it because it was, I don't like seeing the edge of the fur around her neck. So I wanted it as close to her neck as possible. But I also didn't like being able to see the thread. So what I did was I kind of just knotted, like I tied the thread a few times to get rid of a lot of the slack, basically. And then I created almost like a second knot, but I didn't tie that all the way. So there's a gap. That gap is where the key goes. Does that make sense?
The key for the chest.
Yep. So I use the chest thing. Once that's key, like basically the knot is like a circle. There's a bunch of knots up here, the thread, and then another knot down here. I use that circle, put it against your chest, and then put that necklace into the key to keep it from like sliding or anything, and also to hide the string. I mainly wanted to hide the string so you can't see it.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, Cece. That's actually pretty clever. Now I know what you mean. So it locks it in place, but also makes it like discreet. You can't see the.
Yeah, so it like hides whatever excess because I don't want to cut it or anything. And also knots are pretty easy to get out if I ever decide to switch it out. But yeah, she also doesn't look like anything I have in my collection, but somehow she's still that pop of orange. The only thing I have that's terribly colorful in my collection is my art prints. Everything else is like 50 Shades of Grey. So she looks gorgeous.
Like
I'm not kidding. I have the concept maquette, which is gray. I have the Valentine, which is gray. I didn't hear what you said.
I just no, carry on. It's fine.
What else did I buy this week? I got in the J&J Industries Leia necklace.
Yeah, how did that turn out? Does it feel good or does it feel cheap? What do you think?
So I did open it, even though I'm supposed to open it on Monday on my friend's channel, but I do like it. I haven't grabbed my bracelet to see how they look together. I know they're going to look a little different. I'm not sure if I like the fact that it's been a long time since I've seen the original, but this is definitely on the shiny side, if that makes sense. So the necklace itself, like what she actually wore and what you can buy from Laponia, is almost like a brushed finish. It doesn't look like brushed. It's more of like if you were to take like a sandblaster to metal is the closest description I could use for it. So it's not glossy. This, I think because it's silver-plated brass, they put some kind of gloss coat over it. So it's very shiny. It looks like there's like a clear coating over that texture. I would have preferred if they just kept the texture. It would have been more accurate to the original.
It would have tarnished.
Not necessarily tarnished, because tarnish you could always
Right,
you could always polish.
You'd have to constantly clean the tarnish if they didn't coat it.
No, because like normal sterling silver, you could just like it doesn't tarnish that easily. I think they did that clear coat so people could actually wear it without fear of the plating actually coming off with oils and wear. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna wear it. I don't see an issue with it like once in a while, but I mean it's also a huge necklace. I don't think anyone would wear it on a regular basis anyway. But for the price, considering I cannot swing the $3,000 original one, I'm happy with it. Of course, I think it'll look.
Batman shit, you could.
No. I think you're overestimating the price of Batman shit, but okay. I'm still very happy with it. I got it just to look nice on a display because I have decided I'd like to display my basically jewelry from movies or films, TV shows, that kind of thing, because I realized I have a lot of them. Hence, I'm getting those Leia earrings, like the slave Leia earrings. I also, this week, I picked up, as far as ordering things, I ordered the Chris Valentine and/or portraits that kind of last minute went up yesterday. So, was it today or yesterday? Shit. Anyway, I think it was yesterday, but I think Bottleneck goofed on that, and I apologize to anyone if that wasn't enough notice. But Pablo Oliveira's The Book of Boba Fett art print was announced to release on Thursday, so therefore I assumed they wouldn't release 2 Star Wars prints on the same day, because if they typically do that, one is going to be timed or higher edition size in case anyone wants to buy both. I assumed it was going to go up on Friday. I asked Chris Valentine. He actually said he wasn't sure. He was waiting to get back from Bottleneck, and then it was real late at night that they had updated their post to say that his were going to be sold at the same time as the Pablo Oliveira. And his were a lot lower edition size. I think there were 40 each of the Luthen, the Mon Mothma, and the Andor. So I had gotten the set. But and I have no problem saying this. So like in talking to Chris Valentine, he did share a few things that he wants to work on and things that he is working on, which was very exciting. And Star Wars stuff, of course. It sounds. I want to know more about his favorite Star Wars movies and what he'd like to work on next, because I've been very impressed with his work so far, and I just hope he does a lot more Star Wars stuff because I think he nails it. He did show me something he is working on, and I can't share that, but I was really excited about it, and it's not even a movie I like, but yeah, so hopefully we could do a print show and show those off too, the latest ones. And also I've gotten my act together as far as hanging up a lot of art prints, hence my background's changed a little bit. Other than that, I think that's the only Star Wars stuff I bought this week, is as far as new things, was just pre-ordering those art prints.
All right, very good. Let's see, Robert, what's new in your collection?
Nothing that's arrived, but I also jumped on the gaffy stick almost immediately that I knew it was available. So I was very happy with that.
Great.
I went with the A&H one, by the way.
And you were able to order that yourself too, right? So that's kind of nice. No help required.
Yeah, I think they've changed the payment plan thing, because last time I tried ordering, I think you needed a US bank account, but now you can just do it with your. I think I just did it with Apple Pay actually. I did need to use a US address, but I didn't physically need a US bank account anymore, which was the thing that stopped me last time, or previously with Regal Robot and the payment plan.
Okay.
And you need a payment plan for Regal Robot.
Yeah. Nice. Very cool.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Really excited. I think I've got one payment left on my Tuscan as well, I believe. I think we established.
Yep. Just one less. Yay.
and then I'm all done on that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that a lot.
Is that the bust?
Yeah.
I didn't know you got that. Wow.
Yeah,
Talk about how to find.
I love the Tuscan. I think it's a great design and character. Always liked it. The fit, I think, it goes back to the toy, the figures. So yeah, I wanted that. I wanted one in my collection, and I don't think you're going to get a better one than that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have to sell your life-size Batman to fit it in the house?
I don't even know if it's going to fit in the house. But I'll worry about that later. Once I've got it, then
I mean,
do something with it.
The Wampa didn't get home. The Wampa went right to the shop. So
yeah,
the Tuscan will probably end up there as well. There he is.
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
he's still there. I'm enjoying it though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's very cool. Yeah,
You guys look like you're sharing the same climate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Well,
actually warming. It's actually warming up a bit now.
Good. All right. Anything else, Rob?
No, I think that's. Yeah, I think that's it.
Very good. Okay. Jason, anything interesting going on with you?
Yeah. As far as buying, no. As usual, just still slow, not really picking up much. I'm buying, picking up the maquettes though. That's a line I really like. That's when they first introduced that since the Java, it was something that I responded to, and really enjoyed. So that was a given. I haven't received which ones do I have? I in hand I get everyone except for Weequay and Reese, which I think they're shipping now. Are in the process of getting ready to ship. So that's as far as new. That's what I get coming in. As far as interesting, just a lot of research. Been doing a lot of like just behind the scenes projects, working on a handful of things, and just building and searching for parts and info and things like that. And yeah, I've been keeping myself busy and enjoying it and having fun. And yeah, so just mainly just keep myself busy with the project stuff.
Very good.
Although I will say, I was this close when I saw that Infinity Studios Christian Bale Batman.
Oh God.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
That has to be one of the. Say yeah.
Have you seen that, Steve?
Jesus.
Is that the bust?
Another Batman thing today?
It is the bust.
Steve,
Yeah.
This has to be one of the best executed pieces I've seen in a long time.
What's so weird though is the Harley Quinn bust from Suicide Squad looked like trash. Like the face was good, but they didn't even do like fingernails on her hands.
This the one?
Yep.
Oh my god, yeah. And then the fact that they gave you like they hit you with the double, like you got the full open face sculpt of Christian Bale. They deliver that. You get the armor, and then you have the helmet. You still get the cowl in his face. Get the helmet in his hand. Oh my god! Like I saw this and I was like, I might have to pull the trigger on this thing. Look at this.
Well, at least you're doing a movie room, right? Still.
Mm-hmm. And I get the JND Harley. That's in. Then I get a few pieces that haven't arrived yet, such as the Dune piece from Prime 1 that hasn't shipped yet, and then the White Walker. But man, this thing is like, I don't know. This guys, you don't see me react like this often, do you? This thing knocked my socks off.
Yeah.
What do you think, Rob? You're a Batman fan. What are your thoughts? It's crazy, huh?
I like it, but I don't know if we talked about that Michelle Pfeiffer one that was going around on Facebook before Christmas, and I actually did come back to that this week and started looking at that again.
Which
is that another one that they nailed?
I don't know I don't know who makes it. I think it's somebody in the Philippines or something.
I don't know if you
I
should.
know what you're talking about.
This may be the wrong thing to search on.
I agree.
Let me go whip out the screen.
It had to have been custom because there's no licensed company I'm aware of that's doing a Michelle Pfeiffer.
Was it the Etsy? Let's see. This is an Etsy one.
No.
I didn't know they were doing an Anne Hathaway version to go with.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, it was actually, if you go through some of the images, it's paired with the Christian Bale one. I mean, look at that.
I don't remember if it's that one or if Queen Studios is doing one. I get them so confused, the companies, honestly, when it comes to their bust. But I think it was the Infinity Studios one, the base on. Jeez.
Oh.
The base on the Anne Hathaway from Infinity Studios was like a mini like Gotham, like skyline, and I wasn't too much of a fan of that.
I think this is the one that this could be it. I'm not sure, Rob.
Okay,
is that the one?
This is it.
Art
okay, I did see that.
But they do even know what's going on here now. But they just showed they showed these pictures.
Oh.
Wow, look at that, Jack Nicholson.
But the Michelle Pfeiffer, oh my god.
I like her facial expression.
Yeah, looks like they'd and there's a couple of different. I just keep going back looking at it. It's ridiculous.
Do they say what it's made of? Is it polystone or silicone?
I can't remember. I don't know if I actually read it. I was just looking at it. I think it's resin.
Resin? Okay. I trust that a lot more than I trust, because I think the silicone, like J&D, I think they say they guarantee it for like 10 years. But other than that, like with degradation and stuff like that, and yeah,
See,
Hugh,
that
in the video.
That worries me, CC, because 10 years, I mean, we're already, 3 years on Chewy? I mean, that goes by quicker than you think.
Yeah. But I mean, I think too, it probably has a lot to do with environmental factors. If you're in a dry climate, if you're in a humid climate. But I mean, isn't Hot Toys, like the face sculpts are the same material? So if you don't have issues with Hot Toys that are 10 years old, if those are even a thing, because I think the company's been around long enough, then perhaps you don't have an issue with that. But it is interesting. Like, I know Queen Studios is trying to get the license for Star Wars, and I know a lot of people would really be interested in busts.
All the Queen Amidala busts that I would throw tons of money at. For sure.
Honestly, I think it would just be nice to see a lot more female characters executed really well, because I think that's a portrait that's really hard to nail with a lot of them.
Oh wow!
With that crazy hair.
So let's see. I got an email finally from Things from Another Planet or whatever it was, where I ordered that.
Damn.
Where I ordered that.
I'm gonna have to keep going back to that.
CG, the Graded Kenobi comic book. Remember, I was complaining I never got that.
Oh yes.
So I finally got an email from them today. They attempted to charge my credit card all this time later, and of course, that card was expired or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of happy. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not getting it. So
you know what? Can I derail your pickups for a second? It's funny you say that, because I'm having an issue with another company, and I have two friends who are also having issues with the same company. So it's the first and will be the only time I order from them. But they're called Hotshot Comics.
Oh, different one. Okay.
Different one. Yep. So, but it's interesting because when I ordered, it was a variant cover, like a retailer incentive version of Mandalorian, and I thought it was concerning that I've seen a lot of them on eBay and a lot of other companies sell them as they have them in hand. And I ordered this on, I think, March 2nd. So we're going on almost a year. And the last time I asked, I basically told him, like, hey, because I've moved since then. So when I had moved, I said, hey, I've moved. Here's my new address. Blah, blah. Didn't hear anything. Nothing. Not okay, thanks for letting us know. We've updated that, whatever, nothing. So then a few more months went by, and I asked for an update. I'm like, hey, it's been a few months. Like, it was long. I know CGC was backed up because mine, it's a pre-ordered 9.8. I know CGC was having long run times, but I think it was like 8 months into waiting that I was like, hey, can I get like an update on this? Nothing. I messaged them on Facebook, and the response back I got was, hey, this is just like the social media page. Like, you're going to have to contact customer service. As if they have more than one person working for this company. I don't know why they had to make it seem like, oh, we have like social media people and then we have customer service people, like they're different. And I kind of want to be like, well, I'm contacting you because I contacted customer service and they're ghosting me. So I got a response back saying, you'll get an update when you get an update. like straight up. And so it was just like spur of the moment one morning. I'm brushing my teeth and I'm like, it's been almost a fucking year. Like, I can't do anything with PayPal. It's been too long. Can't dispute it with my credit card company. Also been too long. So I finally just emailed them and was like, hey, I'm going to need a refund because I'd rather just buy this from someone who has it in hand. I don't know why it's been almost a year and I don't have the product, blah, blah, blah. They responded back to me in less than an hour. And they said, oh, well, because this is a CGC, they have a strict no cancellation policy. So therefore, a refund's not possible. And I said, how can you quote CGC's cancellation policy when I didn't order it from CGC? I ordered it from you. And you don't say anything on your website about you can't cancel a CGC. And I was like, also, you're telling me CGC has the book. Is that accurate? Because I asked for an update and you gave me nothing and said you'll get an update when you get an update. So I was a Karen. I was a total fucking Karen about it. I was like, this is ridiculous. This has been almost a year and you decided to string this along until I couldn't dispute it with PayPal. I couldn't do anything with my credit card company. And the response was basically like, you'll get an update when you'll get an update. We'll let you know when we have an update for you. But since then, it was a few months of no response from them that a few of my comic book friends found forum posts of people who had been ghosted or had ordered books and not received them from this company. So a lot of red flags. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get this book. It was not a cheap book. I'm used to, like, there's, especially with, no offense, but with some of the stuff we order, whether it's customs or stuff from the RPF, I don't spend money that I'm not comfortable losing. Like if a commissioner goes or the person who I'm buying on the RPF just, doesn't deliver on the product and it's been 6 months or whatever, like I'm just like, that's the cost of doing business as far as I'm concerned. Is it shitty? Absolutely. But this was just enough money that I'm like more annoyed that a company that has a front-facing website and seems like a legitimate company can just do this and it's fine. It's almost like if Mondo were to do something like
What's
this.
the name of the company?
I'm sorry?
What's the name of the company?
Hot Shot Comics.
All right. Don't buy shit from Hot Shot Comics. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough,
All
right? Like I don't want to continue airing grievances, but buying when I got into the comics last year and a half before, it was such a mixed bag. Like John Tyler Christopher, right? Big artist. He does the reverse negative images. Everybody loves it, and smooth transactions. And then when we got the Bobas, you remember the whole fiasco? They did an A and a B and a 1 and a 2, and so one of my books didn't show up, and they just kept giving me the runaround, like, oh, we have to look into it. We have to look into it. And it was just like, okay, well, can you refund me or ship me a book, like one or the other? And, and then I ordered a couple off of Mike Mayhew, never an issue, where other people are like, oh, I ordered from him, and I ordered 3 books and I got the 2. And so it's one of those things where I think, especially when you're dealing with so many variations of a book, is it graded? Is it not graded? What grade is it? Is it signed, not signed? I think there's a lot of logistics. And like you mentioned, CC, you only have 1 or 2 people, sometimes 3 at the most, sorting through this logistically. So it's a bit of a headache. I'm still kind of salty over that Boba cover because I had to go out and buy one of them at market value, and they never took care of it. But it's just one of those things where I just ate it up as like, hey, it's just one of the law of averages. Just one of those things that just happens.
All right, let's move on. Let's see here.
It's not broken yet. It's about to happen live.
Oh,
You've seen it here first, people. You've
Because
seen
like
it
we're an
here
hour
first.
in and we actually haven't shown any new stuff that's Star Wars anyway. Don't poke yourself in the eye with that thing.
So this is the Kyber Studio
It's not bad,
General
actually.
V.
I like it.
He showed up, and he looks fantastic. I really, really like this statue.
Looks very well proportioned.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the armor and the pose, like he looks,
His face looks terrific. I don't know how well that's showing up on camera, but the head sculpt is great. Just everything was executed really well. There's one shitty paint on the chest of the Super Battle Droid. It was supposed to be battle damage or whatever. It looks like somebody took a marker to the chest and drew an asterisk. But I'm like close to an asterisk on his chest, on the chest. But other than that, that's my only complaint about this. I think this is fantastic. I'm very happy with it. He's going to go good with Anakin, and another job well done by Kyber. So that's 2 out of 2 so far. And now we're just waiting for Dooku to show up.
I love the whole, if my saber won't get you, I'll poke you in the ass.
Yeah. And of course, I got the, I'm not going to attempt to lift this one. Got the emphasis nest from Michael, and nothing's broken. Yay.
Amazing.
That's amazing. And
I called Steve the day mine arrived, and I was like, Steve, we got an issue. He's like, what is it? I'm busy. I'm like, everything on my helmet's smashed.
And like 5 minutes
Everything
later,
was broke. The
I
top
was
blades.
looking at the helmet. Because I wanted to check to make sure my helmet wasn't smashed. The tusks, the only issue, nothing's broken, but the tusks, like,
But down,
they're
yeah,
glued
they
on,
should be.
but they don't. Well, yeah, but they don't touch like the tubes. So there's the blue tubes that come down the face, and the tusks are supposed to be touching them, and they don't really. So whoever put it on didn't do a good enough job. But that's a minor detail. I think she looks great. Paint job is done really, really well. Sculpt as usual is fantastic. I'm kind of bothered by the whole letters not being.
Yeah, I fixed mine.
Yeah, well, so I'm not afraid of doing. I wasn't afraid of doing a little black wash on that, but then Cece told me she had an issue doing hers. The paint was coming off when she was doing it. So then I'm like, oh man, what? I don't know that I wanted. I don't know what I want to. I don't want to try it right now. I have to see. But
Maybe
yeah,
I was just aggressive with it.
You polishing the helmet a little bit too hard, CC? Is that what you're saying?
Or I wonder if it was like I just didn't notice that spot until I actually started doing the wash.
What paint were you using?
Just acrylic black and water.
Interesting.
But
Yeah, it shouldn't have been an issue. But another fantastic statue from Michael. So job well done. So 2 statues in like a week. It's got to stop. And I did order the Obi-Wan to go with Qui-Gon. So I just had to do it. I think it would be kind of dumb not to get them. So order that. So that's good. All right. So why don't we go ahead and look at who's in the chat here tonight? We've got the Moof Milker is in. Good to see him. Darth Dread, Arc Trooper, Traveling Jedi, Chris Millen, Tukathri, Solo Fett, Traveling Jedi, Hazard Blue. Let's see. Always Sunnyvale. Vintage Rebellion. Darth Dread. Joe Pretzel. Okay.
Hey, Joey.
Hugh.
Joey Pretzel, I like that.
Dylan's out there. Dylan Compton. A lot of old familiar fans. It's great to have you out there, and a couple of new ones, I think, this time. So good to see everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started with just a little bit more Jazz Inc. This is a special request from Rob. We'll pull this up.
This thing is a beast.
Oh, this was just a bit of a reminder. I think they're closing the pre-order on this in 3 days.
Uh-huh. That
So
looks.
I don't know if you were going to mention that.
This Photoshop is just top notch, man.
Be kind.
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't know it was closing down, so that's good to let everybody know. I wonder, is this Polystone, this one?
Not at that. No, there's no way at that size.
No.
It'd be impossible to ship.
Well, let's see how long it is. It's 30. Okay, yeah, 33 inches long. Okay, yeah.
I mean, that thing, that is huge.
Yeah.
That's a
Let's
fun
see.
piece, though. I don't know.
$2 with shipping. Okay. So that, and then there was, so that's the gray, and then they also have the orange. The orange is 18, the gray is, okay, so the same price. That's good.
The more I look at this,
There's
the more
another
I do
piece
like
if I
it.
got it. Yeah, I agree. It looks like it was well done and well proportioned, but probably, I think if this is a piece if I acquired, I'd probably repaint it.
Rob, you ordered the land speeder, right?
Yes.
Did you get it yet?
Yes. Yeah, it was on the secondary market, so it was in hand, and it was.
Okay.
But that is, I think that's a much earlier jazzing thing, and that is a big lump of polystone or resin
Did you
or
repaint
something.
it? Did you wind up repainting it?
I've not done yet, but that's the plan.
Yeah.
But I think I don't think it's really fair to compare this to that, because I think they've moved on a lot.
Yeah, this is years apart. I think they've definitely learned a lot and have definitely utilized a lot of different, I'd say, technologies, right? The different ways of producing and perfecting these pieces. And I do know they did a lot of R&D on this to get some of the proportions of it quite accurate. So it's a nice.
Yeah,
nice
I think
piece to show.
did Hot Toys show one of these off once?
Not one of these. No, it's probably one of the other ones that haven't showed up.
So I think for me the 66 Batmobile I was expecting Hot Toys quality, but I think it's from Jazz Inc. But I think it's way better than Hot Toys.
Oh, okay, nice.
So the quality of that 66 Batmobile is amazing. So
how is the paint on it? Were you happy with the paint?
Yeah, I didn't have any problem with it at all. I think it looks amazing.
Good.
Yeah, really nice. Some of the collectors seem a bit, I don't know, their expectations seem to be ridiculously high with some of the little. I've seen people get it and say, "Oh, I got the Batmobile in and it's amazing," and then, but there's this little thing, and it's like, for me, it was like, I don't even know why you're even mentioning that.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think it's absolutely amazing piece. And I think these will be as well.
It's interesting you mentioned that, Rob. I had a discussion. We had a recent show we did. I think it was a couple of days back with it was maybe with Guy Cohen. I'm not sure. One of the ones we did in the last week or so. We were talking about, people receiving things and it having an issue here or there. And I'm at a point where I can't tell if I'm biased, meaning like you had mentioned to you, it's like, well, what's the big deal if there's a little nick or something bent, or, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's to be expected. And then some people just make even like the Hot Toys boxes, when there's a dent and I want my money back and I want to return. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, you are paying a lot for these pieces. Is that a genuine concern, or are people sort of being overzealous and overreacting? We're in a position where it's easy to fix something, right? A little dab of glue here, a little touch up there. Is that like sort of a biased thing where it's like, oh, not a big deal? Or are people overreacting? Like, I generally can't tell the difference anymore. I'm not sure.
I'm so used to things arriving broken. It's like It doesn't affect me at all anymore.
See, people must love shipping you stuff because they're like, it doesn't matter how it ends up. This guy's not going to bother me. Not going to send me an email.
So I bought this rare Smashing Pumpkins record on Discogs, and it was, I don't know, like $180 or whatever. Okay, so it arrives. I'm playing on the second record, last song of the second record. There's a mark on it, and it's like clicking at the same time every time through. And I'm like, son of a bitch, oh well. So I contact the guy. I'm like, hey dude, it's got an issue. He's like, oh, okay, all right, sorry about that. And he was like all apologetic and all that. And I'm like, dude, shit happens. So he contacted the guy that the company that sold it to him, got another one, sent that out to me, and I got it. And the first track on the first side had the same exact problem. And I'm like,
no.
I'm like, so sorry, dude, but here it's doing it again. And I'm like taking videos and whatnot. I'm like, but the whole time I'm like, it's like I want it fixed, but it's not bothering me at all because I am so used to this shit, right? And he's all like, you know what? I'm just going to send you my own personal copy because I know that's plays fine. So hopefully the third time's the charm. I've gone through so much on it, and as I said, it
was this the box set, the re-release box set that just
no,
or was it an older one?
No, so not to get too far off trail, but Billy Corgan has set up a website called Madame Zuzu's, which sells. In this case, it was the Rubano tapes.
Okay,
and it's like a live album. It's one of the live albums. It's got all these songs that they've never released. And initially you buy it initially, it's going to cost you like $60, $80 or something like that, and they're sold out. They're limited edition, so it was costing me closer to 160, 180 or whatever. So yeah,
nice.
I'm a huge Pumpkins fan, huge. So okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and move on to the topic of the night. And here he is. All right. And I kind of want to. Cece I think she had a pretty good first impression of this. Cece, what do you think?
I don't know exactly what I said when I first saw this, but I was happy to talk about it. I'm not terribly surprised this is what it was because they said it was going to be a Mandalorian maquette that they showed, but I do think that they're headed in the right direction with this, even if it's definitely not for me. I was sort of tempted, but I think I'm going to pass. I like that it's the dual signature and that it's going to be their ordering system's kind of strange where they're not going to release a edition size. It's almost like a timed edition where it'll be up for pre-order from March 1st to March 15th, and then after March 15th they'll decide what the edition size is.
Okay. Another one of those, huh?
I mean, I don't think they've done that often.
Maybe what I remember is somebody commented on your post, I think. Oh no. It was on another forum. Somebody we know said this would be on the dumpster fire if he wasn't such a popular character. I think is what they wrote.
Yeah.
And I don't agree. I no offense, but I think it's still cute. I still think it's well executed. I wouldn't put this on the dumpster fire. I think it looks just like the character. As a matter of fact, I think that's the problem with it. Okay, because all the other maquettes, they give you an insight into the artistic evolution of the piece. right? The initial concept, hey, this is what it's going to look like, and there's a significant difference between that the Maquette. I mean, okay, let's take Weequay here, right? I mean, there is a huge difference between this and the final character, and that's why I like this Maquette. That's why I like having it, because it gives me insight into the creative process. I see almost no difference in this Grogu. To me, if you didn't tell me that this was a concept, I wouldn't even think it was a concept.
I think they look different enough. Also, if you look at like the concept art, like you get the print that goes with it, and also people were kind enough. I guess it was at Celebration, but maybe I missed it. They showed the actual maquette that was sculpted that this came from. Like it came from the same mold. So I mean, if you put this next to something like the Sideshow 1:1 scale, I think the design looks a lot different. He's a little like the proportions are a lot different on this sculpt versus like what we actually got in the show with the animatronic. But yeah, I think that
clearly the proportions are different. I agree. Yeah. But is the head different? Barely. Barely. I mean, I look at this and I do not. I do not. Other than you're right about the proportions, but other than the proportions, I don't see any difference in this. And if I was tempted to buy this, I would kind of be disappointed to add it because I don't really see much of a difference. I don't know.
So, Chris, Steve, you're not suffering like solo fat there. Yeah.
I was thinking that when I read that comment, I thought that.
Not in the least. I'm not
sure?
Not even remotely tempted to get this.
This isn't going to eat away at your anxiety now for the next few weeks until you order it. Are you sure?
It's anomalous. It doesn't. This has
I don't know.
Put that guy next to. What does that guy have to do with this? Nothing.
Well,
Grogu,
it does say, yeah, but it says archive collection there. It's not going to be a full set.
Grogu is a modern design aimed deliberately to bring kids and other non-Star Wars fans into the franchise. It's a marketing. He's a marketing ploy.
Well executed one at that.
Oh hell yeah! Good for them, right? Good for them. But for me, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't do anything Star Wars for me. So you're not gonna tempt me, Rob. This is a hard pass. This is no problem.
Is that a hand or a foot?
That's a foot. It's got to be
a foot.
Yeah, the hand is right behind it.
It does come on the same wooden base. It's just removable, so it will have the same consistency if you are trying to complete the set. Unlike some slackers over here, but also, did you see Matt's comment to my post?
No.
It was a GIF of Chewbacca, like smashing something with a guitar, like over and over.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know.
When I see this, all I can think about, Steve, is the Beeple image of the three Grogus. Why? Whenever I see that, I think of you, and
I wish I had paid the whatever amount of money it was, ridiculous amount of money it was for that, the Jabba and the Jabba one.
When I called you, I was like, "Hey, I got one for like $800." You're like, "That's crazy."
I wish I had bought that, people. Oh my god, stupid.
Was that the Jabbas that were like giving birth?
No, he was being eaten. He was being eaten alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
the three little Grogus. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. It's like the most repulsive.
Oh, I don't.
Jabba people eating Grogu. Okay, let's see what we got here.
So when people ask how I spend my Friday nights, it's gonna be looking at this stuff. Okay.
Where is that print? By Beeple, right? Beeple.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
There it is. Yes. That's the giving birth one. That's pretty gross.
It's a little concerning.
you
If
remember this,
thumbnail,
right?
you can't tell if they're being eaten or giving birth. Yeah.
Rob, do you remember this one, or was it before your
No,
your
I don't
time of being
remember.
a
I don't
avid
remember
watcher?
this.
Oh man,
Here you go.
I
Here you go,
want this
Steve.
print so bad. This has got to be one of the best
there you go.
prints ever made for Star Wars. It's
I could probably still get you one.
for how much? Jesus.
Probably not too far for the original cost. Well, not the retail, but the original cost that I was offered before.
This one's worse. You ready? This is the one that CC was talking about.
Oh,
Blah.
What on? Why? Why?
Rob, this is like when somebody spiked
What?
your drink, or you went and had a tab of acid one night, and you woke up.
What are
and
the
you had this
Jawas
crazy
doing?
fever dream. They're trying to steal the afterbirth because they steal
They're looking
everything.
for an egg.
Which bit's the afterbirth?
You can't tell what the
This is gnarly. Look at the little
That-
one trying to escape.
what is the thing they say?
Let's make
What?
Houdini. It's
What was
making
the
me
thing they
queasy.
say?
So do
I
they
love
use-
Rob's face. This is priceless.
So do they have a litter then?
It looks
Oh
like
my
it.
God,
But
that's
it's
more
just
than a
even
little.
worse.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's the
Who
greatest
would
thing.
want that? Who
He is-
would want that?
I would pay money for that. Good
Oh,
money.
oh no.
It would
There's
go.
definitely
It would go in the
there's
guest
definitely
bathroom on
an
the main floor.
I'm not a huge fan of blood in Star Wars.
I prefer the Grogu's eating Jabba better than that
This-
one.
This looks like
that one has
kind
a
of-
bit more that one has a bit more context to it, I think, from subject matter. So that makes I think, as you mentioned, that one's starting to make a little bit more sense to me, despite the grotesqueness of it.
Making sense. Okay.
No.
Is this more
no.
feasible? Is that what you're saying?
One
Yeah.
Grogu is bad enough. I don't want 3 of the stupid little things.
But look at them; they're little fuckers, huh? They ain't as cute as you think they are.
Well, it makes me think of Gremlins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I love this.
Job is
brand.
like my eye.
I think that if I could get
It
it for
doesn't
like
make
200
sense.
if I
No.
could get this for 200, I would spend 200 on it.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's it.
No, it's ridiculous. Look at
I couldn't pay
that
it.
that little Grogu could not eat that much.
You'd be
It's like
feeding
a,
after
yeah,
midnight,
it's
right?
like twice the
This
body
is
weight.
so unrealistic. It's so unrealistic.
Hold on. Here's the best part. Has anybody noticed? Look in the back. They're on the farmstead, and it's got the two sons. That's the best part. The accuracy is there. That's the best part.
It's very. It sets the mood of the.
There's
of the
no
photo.
best
Yeah.
part. It's just
binary sunset.
Well, it's
No.
the fact that like such an arbitrary detail is, right at the forefront of something so. I don't even know what you would call this.
Also, why are we assuming that an alien's blood is going to be red?
I think I would call
Good
this
call, CC.
dog shit.
I had a lot of
is what I would call
questions.
this. I would, in the Mandalorian where they've got all the spikes with the stormtrooper helmets on. I would like to see a Grogu on one of the spikes. That would be something I'd be interested in seeing. But what is the point of that?
I have a zombie Jar Jar art print, and I thought I was fucked up for having it, but it's fine. I feel so normal now. I'm glad we have these talks.
Innocent and cute.
Yeah, considering we just
Yeah.
saw him fucking eating someone's face.
I think it's interesting though, Steve, what you were talking about, where the concept is just carried
Yeah.
out so perfectly now. There is no room for the artist interpretation when they're creating the piece.
I think that's you're right because they
But
have.
I
these
don't
tools
think
now,
there's room for the artist to have an interpretation. I think it has to be. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Do this.
But I guess what I'm thinking is I think the ideas are it's quicker to do to draw your idea on a computer than it is to sculpt it, right? So initially, they try out all their ideas digitally, they refine it, and then they get to the point where it's like, okay, this is what we like, and then for whatever reason they're asked to make a physical version of it, and they do. But by that time, the idea is really mature. Whereas, the old way was they didn't have computers, so they had to sculpt it to make it become their reality. And then there's a lot of then the problem is replicating the thing, right? Because now it's got to be replicated by somebody else or whatever, and going from that replication, from that concept to the final, there's room for a lot of interpretation, and that's why these are so great, because they show the original idea. This one, to me, there's almost no difference.
Which is exactly what the maquette is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to translate the idea from one person to another, isn't it?
Yes.
Whereas this is just the finished thing, practically.
Yeah. I've been thinking about this all day. And
that's not even what bothers me, though. You make a good point. It just looks like a toy. Might as well just get that $30 toy thing that everyone was buying a year or so ago.
It's funny you say that, because I was sitting next to a coworker when this came up. I had on my phone, and they had a situation where they saw, like, someone had I think it was like the Hasbro Grogu in their car, and she was like, "Is that one of those?" And she doesn't know Star Wars. She's never seen a movie. She just knows what Baby Yoda looks like, and so she saw it on my phone and thought that it was the toy. I mean, I see the differences, but I think that most collectors will see how different that is compared to the toys, but I could see I think the scale wise, it's a little bigger, I think, than most of the maquettes, which I think probably lends itself to that kind of toy-like feeling. See, like, it looks like a big hunk of Grogu in the middle. Whereas, like, even the job
big too, huh?
But it's true to the mold, so there's no wiggle room there on them making it smaller if they wanted to. But I think this is going to be popular.
I think the other problem with it is I've got absolutely no connection or interest in the character whatsoever. I don't get it. It's stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how nothing is born and can't fend for itself within a short space of time. To be 50 years old, it doesn't matter if it's going to live to it's 1 million. To be 50 years old and, like, so dependent on something, that's ridiculous. I hate it.
With that all being said,
I'll be buying it. Yeah. No, I'm not. No.
With that all being said, I think it's executed really well. I think it looks great.
Well, it's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, it's painted well. It's a good size. I think that if you're into this, you can't go wrong with his version.
No.
Right. I don't have any problem with the execution at all.
No, I don't. It's Regal Robot, so you know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Not for me. I don't think I could be less excited about something.
Jason,
say again?
You gonna get it?
This? No, I don't really have, like, a connection to the Grogu character much. I was never really. I don't dislike him, but I'm just neutral on him. I can kind of take it or leave it. I mean, he's definitely a ploy from a character plot perspective, but I think it's well executed. I think it's a beautiful rendition of the original. If you look at the original compared to this, I think it's spot on. I think Regal Robot knocked it out of the park, as they usually do. So anybody who's a fan, I think, is gonna enjoy this immensely. It's a beautiful piece, but otherwise, as far as, like, adding it into my collection, I think, Steve, I probably couldn't have said it better myself. I think what you said as far as concept maquette goes, this is a concept true to form, right? But it's just, as both you and Rob had mentioned, you had stated, looking at a concept and seeing its sort of origins, from work in progress to what you see finalized is one thing, but seeing something that, although is concept, but didn't really have many changes, and if the changes are there, they're so subtle you don't recognize them. Yeah, it kind of throws off what concept and archive terminology applies to the piece. But otherwise, again, I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 for Regal Robot on this. Just not for my collection.
Yeah. CC, you think this is going to go? Did you say that you think this is going to go fast? I think I saw that in your comment or something like that.
I think it'll sell well. I think she's right. When she wrote that,
there's enough of a base. There's enough of a fan base that this will go. I think. Yeah.
I don't think
I think it's going to sell better than people. Okay, CC, sorry.
I mean, because they're doing it where it's like a timed edition, it's not like it's going to sell fast, but I do think it's going to sell well. I do think that people who are probably not collecting maquettes would probably be more interested in this maquette than any of the other ones that were released. Especially, to be fair, like I think for all the reasons Rob said, as far as they're not doing concept work like this. Like we saw even with The Force Awakens, they did concept art, but it was all 2D, it was with sketches. I've never heard of, and it could be my ignorance, it's probably my ignorance, but I don't know of them doing a lot of maquettes like this in like the Disney era of Star Wars, except for this one. So it's one of those, if you're a fan of The Mandalorian and you don't like the Gamorrean Guard, this might be your only maquette that you're able to get if you want some kind of Mandalorian concept representation in your collection. So
let me ask you this, CC. Do you think that by doing this, Regal Robot is going to pull in a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't be interested in what Regal Robot has to sell? Do you think that they're going to expand their customer base by offering a Grogu?
That I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that, but I do think that there's people who maybe have had no interest in getting a maquette before might be interested in this maquette, if that makes sense. Like I don't, because I think that $550 is still a lot for the average person. So I think you do have to be a collector, but I do think that, like I said, there might be people who've seen the maquettes they've had on offer and not been interested in anything, which is almost me. If I'm terribly honest, like I only have the Tauntaun and the Tauntaun busts, the small maquettes. If those didn't exist, none of the other maquettes, including this one, would interest me. But I do think this might pull people into that archive collection of maquettes who maybe don't have one in their collection. Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be another Mando one that we're going to see after this. But again, that could be my ignorance. There could be other ones. Because like I said, I think there's a lot. And there's also a lot of interesting Grogu concept art. I just don't think this was, I think, the most interesting. But it is the only one that I'm aware of that had the maquette. So if they are working on just getting it straight from the archives into your home, I think when it comes to Mando, they might be kind of pulling it strings, because I don't think they did. I'm sure they didn't do a lot of maquettes for The Mandalorian because it was all digital.
They actually did. No, they did. They actually did a ton of practical effects and maquettes. I don't say a ton; it's an over-exaggeration, but there's quite a bit that were made.
They did good Gamorrean.
There's the Gamorrean. There's the ice spiders, the Macquarie ice spiders. There's definitely a handful that were shown publicly. The thing is, I think you asked a good question, Steve, and Cece, I didn't mean to interrupt you like that, but I think it will bring in other people, right? I think it's at an affordable price point. I think it's something that a lot of people are a fan of. The difference is I'm not sure if it's going to create like a loyal customer base. It'll bring in people outside of the normal, right? Like the go-tos and the diehards.
I think it will bring people, but I think, as CC said, I agree with CC. I don't think that this is a good price for that person coming. You think this is affordable for the average, like?
Maybe not. You're right. Maybe not for the average person, but it's tricky, right? Because Regal Robot's gone in a direction where, at least for like advertising to the community, it's pushing towards like a TikTok base and I don't think people on TikTok, like, they'll see a something come up and say, oh, this is really cool and neat. But I don't think they're going to go to the site to drop 1,500 or 2,000 or even 500. But I do think, some people may see this and kind of say, okay, well, this is an interesting piece. You're right. I mean, I don't know, right? $549 to us, you kind of caught me there. It seems inexpensive because it's for Regal Robot, but if I remove myself from and I wasn't even trying to make light of that, but I thought of it as you corrected me, and I was like, wow, that's true. $549 isn't.
I'm not.
Really
I wasn't
affordable.
correcting you. I was.
Well, you know what I mean, like pointing it out. Yeah.
Opinion. This is an opinion, right?
But you're not wrong. The problem is if you think about like what Hot Toys and Sideshow put out for what, $350, $400. I mean, that's a lot more bang for your buck as a Grogu fan, I think, right? For like display or aesthetic versus, I mean, a maquette. I feel like a piece like this has a more of a special place in, like a collector's collection, like people like us. If you're into it, I think the average person is going to go more for like a HasLab piece or a Hasbro piece or a Sideshow piece. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think it was smart that they did it as a timed edition versus a numbered edition of 75 or 150. I think that was a smart approach for sure, because it can go in any direction. They could sell hardly any, or it can go gangbusters and they can sell hundreds.
That feels like Disney's influence all over it. I gotta
and I believe I would believe that was a definitely significant contributing factor there. Yeah,
they've got to be looking at what happened with the Sideshow. Was it Sideshow Hot Toys that made that one? I think it was Sideshow. Sideshows. Remember how many they milked that thing for every penny. They must have made 30,000 of those things.
Yeah. And they were not terribly expensive. The Sideshow ones.
Yeah. Well, they raised the price, right?
They jumped it up $25 or something.
First day was like $280 or something like that, and then it went over. I think they said, "Holy shit, the demand is so high, we can raise the price on this."
And they did it so subtle that, like, what's an extra $20 you're not really going to notice. Because I think for that price, it's a decent display piece for those who got it.
Oh, it was great. I had mine for a little while. I enjoyed it for a little while. My wife enjoyed it for a little while, and then it got voted off the island pretty quickly.
Nice.
All right, let's move on. Let's see. Next up, Michael posted a schedule for pre-orders. Mace Windu's coming up.
Burritos in May. Fuck.
The good news is
Steve, hold on. I gotta cut you off. You're saying you're humming and damn. Wait, I thought you were pulling back on statues, man.
No, I almost finished. I almost said it. The good news is that is the only statue I am interested in for the remainder of the year.
Okay, you're not getting the AT-AT driver, huh?
No. I'm not really interested in any of those. I have, you know what I have? I have the helmets that I get from. Well, eventually I'll get an AT-AT driver helmet, I hope. But the helmets that we buy from RS, I'm totally content with that for a trooper, as opposed to needing a statue.
You're right. That's definitely a good stand-in for sure. Yeah.
I gotta go back to the reason why I always say I buy these statues. It's the only way you can really add the prequels to your collection. Is through either a 6-scale figure or a statue. There just aren't that many props or whatever, right? That are available. Whereas with the OTC, I can get a freaking as good, as perfectly close to the screen as possible helmet from Rob, right? So I'm going to be all over that for Original Trilogy. I don't have that option with a lot of the prequel stuff. So no, I don't have any interest in that.
Yeah, the prequels are lacking a little bit, aren't they? With the availability of stuff. The OT's got the original fan base.
Yeah, there was a post the other day. Some woman she was like in She was a trooper, like and she had a phase. It must have been a phase 2 501st helmet, right? And they were interviewing her because it was the first practical helmet of that trooper that will ever show up on screen. I think is what they were saying. And
what was this?
Every other phase 2 trooper that had been on screen was CGI. There was never a practical helmet. The Yoda. Go ahead, Susie.
Didn't they fix that with Andor though?
I don't know. I just telling you what I saw on the maybe it was Andor. Maybe it was Andor that where it was the first time it was showing up. I just remember reading, and I'm like, wow, really? That's the first time? And I forget what it was, what they were referring to. It was probably Andor. You're probably right. Take the Yoda lightsaber as another example. You can build a found parts original trilogy Yoda lightsaber, but the one that showed up on screen wasn't that. That was CGI. So there really just isn't any screen practical collectibles that you can buy for the prequel trilogy. There's a few, sure. Lightsabers are a good example of that. But that's why I'm interested in the prequel statues, because it's my only chance. And God help me if they start doing Amidala busts, or I'll be ruined. I mean, that the amount of money I'd be willing to throw down for an Amidala bust. So Michael's saying something here. He's saying first time it was Andor, first time actual clone trooper costumes were made, all CGI before that. That is crazy. That is crazy.
I think it came up with I think it was Master Replicas doing theirs, where I think they said that they had the digital files for the helmet, which makes sense because it's not like they could basically pull a Rob and use lineage materials because they were never casted. They were only computer generated, as you said, CGI, which also, I know we're talking about statues, but I think to me it also begs the question. I don't know enough about the prequels as far as the production goes to know if they made like a lot of concept maquettes of some of the creatures and characters from the prequels, but I think that would be pretty interesting if they did have maquettes, and if that's something that Regal Robot would be working on.
Oh, you mean like the those three creatures arena battle? That would be so cool.
Or like that lizard thingy that Obi-Wan is riding. And,
Oh man, I would be all over that. I would totally be all over that.
That thing that scratches the hell out of Padme on Geonosis, like that.
There's a
awesome.
There's a custom sculptor.
Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Sometimes on he floats around sometimes on Facebook. He used to be on the Sideshow Freaks forum, but man, he made some amazing renditions of those prequel beasts. And they weren't huge. They were probably like Kotobukiya size pieces, but wow, the detail and the quality were phenomenal.
Yeah. I was all over the Hasbro versions of those. I enjoyed.
Well, they're cool. I mean, they are interesting pieces. I was talking with Chris today, and we were talking like if we were to see, and this was just total happenstance, right? There was no it wasn't intentional or thought through. It was just like, what would we love to see, especially where Michael executes the mixed media pretty well, right? Especially after seeing the Emphas, was a range trooper. I'd love to see a range trooper with like the leather coat and the shearling fur inside.
I want a range trooper helmet. Range trooper helmet would be so cool. I really enjoyed the Rogue One, the Solo trooper designs. I don't think Rob did as much, but I
think no.
Yeah,
you didn't like that one, Rob? The range?
No, but I think the thing is though, with the OT has got its obviously original fan base. The prequels has got less of a fan base, and the new stuff Disney's pushing because that's their stuff. So it's the prequels that are missing out. They're the trilogy that's not getting so much stuff made.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's because there's not as much practical stuff around. I think it's because it's kind of the weird one that's not been as supported by the fans. But I think that's changing now. I think there's a generation coming through that grew up with the prequels and that they've got a lot more love for it.
Jesus,
I've got a lot more love for it now.
Yeah, I admit it's some of the things you get, Rob, now are interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's go on to the next calendar. This is the shipping calendar. Enfys is out now. Qui-Gon is coming. I think I got my notice it was shipping. Kit Fisto. Mud Trooper, another great design. Yeah, so there you go. Bunch of models coming out. That's an impressive pace. In what 7 months you're getting the Snow Speeder, the Tantive, the Model Y, and the AT. That's an impressive pace. And Cece, you have the Boba and Throne on order, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You get any notice about that or
No.
Okay.
No. So I'm assuming
shipping's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
So do you don't refer to the toilet as a throne ever?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because it's kind of that's the thing that springs to mind when I hear that title.
Well, and it's funny because besides that being funny, I think it was Michael who I saw commented on the Iron Studios Vader on Throne from Kenobi, and was like, I think they would look good together, and I was like, yep, I think I wholeheartedly agree, which is why I'm getting both. But yeah, I'm still excited for it, despite the show that's from being a bit of a bit in the toilet. I still think the statue looked great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's the.
You see, this is the problem I have with it. I think if I bought a collectible from Book of Boba Fett, I would be endorsing the show as if to say, I'm a fan and I like it, and I think they did a good job. And I struggle with that. I really struggle with that.
So I justify it in my head. I think I am able to separate it and be like, well, it's a great statue, and therefore I like the statue, not the show. But in my head at least, I picture that scene at the end of Mando season 2, where all we see is him just kill Bib Fortuna on his big fat neck or whatever, and just like sit on the throne.
Yeah.
And I still think that in the context of the season, I think that was a really good scene. And if we're just ending there, so in my head, that's where the story ended. We didn't see him.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Trying to run in his underwear and the back to tank stuff and like whatever. Like that's, I could ignore all of that.
See, I struggle to ignore it. But I mean, this goes back to probably when I was a teenager, and when you were getting into a band, you didn't just listen to the music. You got into the band, and you were like, it was this is a drummer, and they've left that group and they've joined this group, and you know what I mean. It was a whole thing. It was
all encompassing.
And then, but then also, when they put out a bad album, it put you off the albums that went before that.
Well, I think it's not that I want to talk more about Batman than we have already in tonight, but I think it's almost like the Batman.
I was listening to that.
Sorry, someone muted my mic. I wonder who that was. So I think because I'm a Batman fan, I'm used to having to ignore some god awful fucking movies. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't know what you mean.
Batman
George
Robin.
Clooney?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I think every fan has been let down by something where they're just like, you know what, we're just not going to talk about that.
Which one's Batman and Robin?
That's the suits had nipples, and
that's a Mr. Freeze one.
the Batgirl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, though, you had Batman Forever, and that was Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, both
and
are Joel Schumacher.
And you could tell.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I didn't particularly mind those movies.
It was a product of its time. I think it was good.
They had a different tone for sure, but
but you're not gonna like it all. Like the same with like comic books. Like you're not gonna like every storyline that they come out with. So I think I am able to separate it a bit.
I don't think any of the Batman films just completely shat all over the main character though, in the way that Book of Boba Fett did.
Oh,
I don't know.
Or Kenobi. I don't even want to mention that because Steve's probably gonna. We might have to go off. We might have to go off camera for a while and get some tissues out or something.
It's almost the way I compare it,
not in a good way.
Like the character worship, I almost compare it to like actors you admire, where it's like I think I like Keanu Reeves. Like I watched Constantine recently. I still love that movie, but he was also in Dracula, and we all remember his accent in Dracula. So it's like not all of them are going to be bangers, but that doesn't mean I don't like Keanu Reeves as an actor. So I think it's the same. Like I could like Boba Fett and still just want to be like, you know what? No, I'm just going to forget that show happened. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So this is the therapy. This is the therapy part of it.
So here's the.
Oh damn! That does look good.
The Obi-Wan of Qui-Gon. Now you got the Qui-Gon, didn't you, Rob?
I need to message Michael and sort all that out. I've been meaning to do it for about a
week
and a half,
Rob,
2 weeks.
Please do.
Oh,
Thank you.
every morning, Simon says, "Did you message Michael?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I got home and I was."
Rob,
tired.
I
went to sleep.
I gotta say, man, you're rough at following up lately.
I'm absolutely stretched too thin at the minute.
That's what I figured. I said you're probably juggling 6 things at once at any given moment. That's cool with the robes like that.
The robes. It's the robes.
Oh man, that is. Go back, Steve. That right there. That sells it. That's awesome.
I agree with Jason. It's the robes.
So you're getting both.
The sabers lit up like that.
Rob might not be getting either.
Oh, okay.
If he doesn't act soon.
I'll have to do some groveling, but I do like that. You see, I've got nostalgia for this now.
Yeah, I'm noticing that growing, and I find it interesting. It's good though. It's good.
I feel like
I was shocked that you got Qui-Gon. I was shocked. Just like, really?
No, I like this. I like Phantom Menace.
Okay. Especially the beginning when Jar Jar's running through the forest.
Why did you mention that, Steve? Why did you mention that? I can overlook Jar Jar. I'm not. It doesn't bother me too much.
I like Jar Jar, so
I don't like Jar Jar. That's a bit too far. There.
It's a bit too strong.
It doesn't put me off. It is what it is, isn't it? I can take it for what it is. But I thought they were cool. I thought the way we saw lightsabers being used in the prequels was great.
Yeah, that was Rob. You're dead on with that. Like the way we saw like the action and the way they just came in kicking ass and taking names. That I did really enjoy. Do
you like the super speed, the running?
I didn't like R2 flying with the jet engines.
And the big jumping and stuff.
Yes,
like leaping across a building and things. A bit less so, but it was good to see the Force being used, like it was. I like it. I like them.
Yeah.
And also, now we know how bad things really could have been. So I think I appreciate him even more for that.
And
I do like this.
I think
Go
the
ahead.
head
Do like
sculpts
this.
look good.
CC, go ahead.
I think the head sculpts look good for both of them.
I'm not 100%.
He looks a bit smooth
Yeah.
for some reason. It's like him on Botox.
I'll tell you what. If he came out first, I wouldn't have gotten him. But he came out with Qui-Gon, which I thought is a lot better head sculpt. And now I have to get this, right, because I need the set. But if this had come out first, I wouldn't have gotten it.
See, I really like the mixed media, and everybody knows that like the NYC statues, the lights, the cathode tube sabers, and everything are always like spot on and really bright and vibrant. Like the Ayla Secura, the way that lit up. I mean, in a dark room, that was a fantastic piece.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is an update on Fisto. Damn. Talk about color. That's a what? What? Wait, what's that?
That's a different base. No, that's a different base.
Yeah, this can't be. Okay, that's a different base. All right, I was confused. I'm like,
Sounds
that's
like a transport trooper.
Yeah.
That the mud trooper. It's got to be the mud trooper.
No, transport. That's not mud.
No, he's saying the statue might be a mud.
Yeah, is it?
Oh, okay.
The that puddle on there looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, mud trooper. That Fisto is looking nice. Look forward to that.
What?
And then
Is that two pictures? In my eyes, is it?
There's a little bit of an optical illusion here because of
those blue things at the bottom. Yeah,
it
freaky,
creates this
isn't it?
crazy horizontal line, but no, if you look at the statue, it's just the way it came out.
I think I've got some weird OCD where I like seeing multiples of stuff.
Well, yeah, like no, I'm not good. Stop! Don't say it. All right. So there is the teasing going on for the Hyperdrive exclusive that's coming up. It's coming from Dirty Rogue, and it's going to be, they said, around 1,000 in the video, and some pretty badly kept secret is what's going to be. There was a hint in the video. The word "two" was spelled TWO.
Didn't Ben?
Was there two of them?
I thought Ben just totally announced it on his own site or something.
Did he? I
don't know. Well, I don't think he actually said what it was, but it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 2 days ago, somebody put out.
How many days ago?
I see what you did there.
Yes. No. I think literally, I think it was 2 days ago. Somebody put out Bentic or two tubes or something. And I was just like,
was it on YouTube 2 days ago?
Yeah, YouTube two days ago on YouTube. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I thought, because they always keep an air of surprise, and it was and then maybe I was just like, oh, somebody guessed it, and then they're just running with it. But yeah, it was being pushed pretty hard on some of the conversations behind the scenes. I was just like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I thought it was interesting that they had to put out a video apologizing for the price in advance.
Well, I understand. So you have to think about.
He's like, this one's gonna cost a little bit more. It's because of what it is and all that. And sorry, but this is not a trend. They're not all going to keep going up like this. This is a special one. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was going to say that the thing about the hyperdrive exclusives is they're all very affordable. They've all nothing's really topped like the 600 range. Everything's ranged between like 300 and 600. So, you have such a large following in that group. I think everything is accessible. Everything is affordable. I think that they make really good, versatile choices. So coming out with something like this where, and another thing is they all have very quick turnaround time. Whenever an exclusive drops, I mean, within months, it's already in hand. So I think this is interesting because this is a more complex thing. So I don't think people are going to be ordering this week and seeing it in April or May, and they're paying 3 times the amount of what they're used to paying on a regular hyperdrive exclusive. But, again, it's going to be one of those things where it's not for everybody. It's going to be for those people that want to go above and beyond.
I'm assuming this is going to be quite a low number as well, like the Wampa one they did.
I think it said 40.
Yeah.
Was it 40?
Really?
That's high.
I thought I heard that in
Wow.
the video. I thought I heard that in the video.
I was thinking maybe like 15 or 20, like Rob said, but 40, I mean.
Well, because
Wow,
how many Infus helmets did you do? Is that like an open edition or was it a limited run?
It started as 15, right?
Yeah, there's no limit on them. I think he's still
Traveling Jedi saying it's going to be 40.
I feel like that's a lot for what it is, but
I'm nervous about it. I'm nervous about how Ben rightly so, and saying rightly so, takes a long time to get them done. Right? First of all, I have no problem with how long it takes, but it takes him a long time to get it done. And if he's got to get 40 of them done,
right.
Wow.
But that's why I said almost every hyperdrive exclusive has been like ordered and in hand in under 6 months or less. Yeah, sometimes just 2 or 3 months. Something like this, I mean, it's expected that a piece complex like this in detail is going to take longer anyways. But you're right. I think it's take the complexity in detail and then add on top of that you have, one person. I mean, I know he has a little bit of assistance there, but primarily his touch. This is going to be not for the faint of heart. I mean, it's definitely going to be someone who's patient and then willing to put, I would assume, a decent deposit down up front as well. So this would be interesting. I think it's going to be a good piece.
That's not a bad thing, though, Jason. That's not a bad thing.
No. I think it's going to be a good piece. I think for, it's one of those offers that otherwise, where would you get something like that? Or how else would you get something like that?
You cannot rush perfection.
No. And of all things, right? 2 tubes, if it is 2 tubes and that's confirmed, I mean, of all people to be making that, who else would you want, making your 2 tubes? Ben.
Yeah. So on a related note, did you see that somebody bought the Vader helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is on Facebook. So Costa sold his Vader, which was interesting. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, what interesting aspects to that.
I the pictures that were posted didn't look. I wasn't sure. At first, pictures that looked different than the original pictures that we had seen. This looked more like a mesh. The entire thing looked more meshy. I don't know. I didn't go through the pictures up close.
Oh, is this the funeral pyre of Vader?
Yeah.
Based on the concept, it always had a lot of mesh. I think it was just you didn't like. Mike had different lighting on it, which I think made a big difference as to how the helmet was seen. But yeah, he's selling a bunch of stuff. Not necessarily like of the things he's selling. I don't think a lot of it is Star Wars. If anything, I think he said recently he's gonna he is getting back into like life-sized Star Wars stuff. Yeah,
he's been. All due respect to Mike, I think Mike's a great guy. I love Mike. He really is a great guy. But he came into collecting like a whirlwind, and I think it isn't a negative thing. I'm not speaking ill of him in any way. I just think there was a lot of like, it's one of those things where, and we talk about this sometimes. Sometimes the younger people, and not that Mike's younger, but sometimes you see the younger guys who come in. And they don't realize that people have been collecting for like 10, 15, 20 years. And they feel like they have to play catch up immediately and like get to that level. And it's just like, well, yeah. But
me.
sometimes you realize, like, okay, well, this can't be done in a weekend, or you can't just throw money at the problem. And then sometimes too, you get so overwhelmed because today more than ever, there's so many amazing choices, and there's so much accessibility to a various line of different franchises, from Marvel to DC to custom to. I mean, we didn't have all that 10, 15 years ago, so it's another thing. And it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to get sidetracked. And I also think a very large contributing factor is just like, your friends, you're influenced by, when you're the people you spend your time around, you share similarities in music and different tastes and just
And then when
what
they have a
you're into
show,
and interests.
and then when they have a YouTube show, it gets really, really bad.
And so if you're getting into Marvel, you're getting into DC, you're into that, and then tastes change quickly. And I mean, it happens. It's happened to all of us. I'm not trying to single him out. That's not the right thing to do. But
Oh no,
I just see a lot of quick transition there, and it's kind of like, whoa, it's a lot of.
It's definitely if you see something in Mike's collection and you really want it, just wait 6 months, and it might just become available. But it's funny you mentioned that, because that's what I'm going through in collecting vinyl right now. I watch these guys on YouTube talking about vinyl, and behind them, they've got 2,000 records, 3,000 records, in their collection, and I have 160, right? And I'm like looking at my collection and looking at theirs, and I feel this urge to try to catch up as fast as I can, right?
That's the collector mindset. Yeah,
you want to get to that level of collection overnight. It's really, really. It's just
You can't listen to that many records.
yes, sure
Yeah.
you can.
It's such an analog process. That's a tough one.
If you're going to buy that many records, then you're going to need to start collecting the stylus, because you're going to burn through them.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy with the gear I have right now. I kind of have like I don't have a low end, but I would say I have a low mid end system. I'm very, very happy with it. The stylus, they're not that expensive, unless you're going crazy, so I'm not terribly worried. Actually, I was shopping for a record cleaner, right? Like,
Oh, did you get a degritter?
Fuck no.
Oh, they're amazing.
Believe me, the temptation was there to get the degritter, but that's a $3,000 record cleaner.
Yeah, it works amazing though, Steve. I tell you, you'd love it.
I know. I went with the I just ordered it. I went with the there was a Kickstarter on it. Why am I missing the name? It's like a $400 unit, and it's automatic and all that.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. For vinyl.
While we're on the topic of exciting Star Wars news and relevant stuff,
Please talk Batman. Please talk Batman.
Would you mind unsharing your screen so I could show you 2 art prints that I wanted you to maybe mention? Please.
Oh, I bought the Humming Guru. Have you heard of that, Jason?
No. Curious though. Matt turned me on to the degritter initially. I ordered one a while back. The Humming, what's it called?
Humming Guru, 1G.
Okay, came up.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cece.
Oh wow. Okay, nice.
I'm working on it. Sorry.
So I'm going to try that out. I just couldn't bring myself to spending $3,000 on it.
So it's pretty much the same. It's the same machine at a fifth of the price.
There's differences. It doesn't dry as well. The frequency for the ultrasonic is not as high frequency. So the cavitation.
I wouldn't mind that though to save $2,600. That's not that bad of a.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Those aren't bad compromises at all.
Did you buy a degritter?
I did, yeah. I got one last year, yeah.
Cece, do you want me to share these, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Yep, go ahead and share them.
Did you get them both, CC?
No, I just got the white one. So I wouldn't normally show these. I probably will show them on a print show anyway, but fuck it. So I say I normally wouldn't show them because they're a private commission. So that's kind of like it's. I kind of consider it the same realm as custom statues, where it's like, hey, because it's a private commission, you don't always know. But these are made available, I think, earlier this week, and I don't think there's a lot of people currently committed to them right now. So now would be a good time to get in on them. And also, a lot of private commissions I tend to find out after they've been sold out. So if anyone's interested, I was interested in this because Enfys Nest is also on the art print. Yeah, so this is the regular, this white one with Enfys Nest. The artist is, I'm going to butcher the name because I've never actually heard it pronounced. I've only just seen it on paper. Yvonne Quinet. Is that it? YVAN is the first. The last is QUINET.
Is that Yvonne?
Say it again.
YVAN. I would pronounce it Yvonne.
Yvonne. Okay.
And what's the last name?
Quinet, I think. QUINET.
Sounds right.
So I've seen that name on paper several times when looking at art prints, but the like I said, this is the regular, the white edition, and then the black one, it doesn't have Enfys Nest, which I think is actually kind of cool for a variant in that they are so different. We talk about that a lot, where it's like they can either cheap out on a variant and just either make it just straight black and white, or just change the saturation of the color, the warmth or the coolness or whatever. This is just very different between the regular and the variant. It's almost like, do you want the Enfys Nest one or do you want like the mall? But they're doing 45, I think, of each. And the run's still open. So they're looking to fill those spots. So if you're interested, you can always find me, and because it's a private group, I think you're gonna have to find me anyway. Find me in the Facebook group, and I will send you links and stuff like that. But I'm getting the white one.
Nice. Okay. Next up is, so you post this today, CC.
Mm-hmm.
This is Iron Studios 1/20th. Okay.
It's an interesting piece.
Yeah. I don't understand the base. I think someone said they liked the base, but I don't remember if this was like a specific scene that we saw.
I think it's just supposed to be artsy. I think it's really meant to show like space rushing by.
Oh, okay.
The way I interpret it is that's kind of like space rushing by. Yeah, stars or something.
Yeah.
I think it is. Initially, I thought he was sat on a pile of scrap metal.
That's what I thought. I was like, this was scene.
But yeah, I think it's supposed to be the speed, isn't it, of
the
thing.
And I had people asking me what the edition size on this is. They haven't said. They also haven't said the edition size for the Vader on Throne either. So that's, I think it's just the way of the world now is that they don't release edition sizes until they see how many people pre-order it first. And that's the deposit. I think the full price is $800.
That is so misleading when you see that big old that number there, and then the real price is really tiny.
Mm-hmm. Most places do that.
No.
We were on a site tonight. I forget which one it was, but they did the same shit. Big Bad Toy Store.
Huh. It's.
I think that's more. Steve, I think I keep calling you Chris for some reason.
Is that because my voice is dull
It's
and
the
monotonous?
monotone and boring.
Am I putting you to sleep, Rob?
No, you're waking me up. So I don't connect with the ship. I don't think it makes any sense. He had Razor Crest, and it's like he's gone from a van to a sports car. Like, why did you have a van if you could have got away with doing what you were doing in a sports car?
It was all that was available at the time. He didn't have a ship,
No, because it was all full of all of his stuff for bounty hunting and stuff. So what?
Yeah, well, that's gone. He doesn't have that anymore.
He's not. So what is he doing? What does he do for a job now then?
He had to get off Tatooine, and it was the only thing that was available.
How does he get paid?
I think maybe now the point of the sports car, and that he doesn't have room for like the carbonite people that he captures, is that he's not taking prisoners. Wishful thinking. He's upgrading. He's getting more lethal, more ruthless, and he's got the sports car.
It's the Maria Kondo life, right? He's going simple. He's getting, if he doesn't love it, if it doesn't improve his life, he's getting rid of it. So
midlife. Now he's got a kid. He's having a midlife crisis.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Do you have Maria Kondo out there, Rob? Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
What is that?
She's this personality that tells you that a lot of people follow, where she's like, if you have a possession and it doesn't improve your life, you should get rid of it. And so she's a real minimalist.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. And people watch her video, and like 15 minutes later they're throwing everything out. Okay. So that's what he's doing right now. He's been inspired. This is the tiny house equivalent of a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked the big van. I liked it. Made more sense.
When you say the big van, I think of Spaceballs. All right. Moving on. Oh, we did this one already. All right. Thanks, Cece, for sharing this one.
This is a great one. I like this.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Are you in the can, Jason? Where are you now?
What do you mean? You can't hear me?
You
There's a weird echo.
It sounds like you're in a different room, like on the toilet or something, and you're talking into the other room.
Oh no, I was just leaning back, stretching.
Okay, there you go.
That might just be my mic. Yeah, I really like this. Wasn't there two? I thought there was two different Ewoks.
There may have been. I just saw this.
There was. Yeah, I think there was. I don't know them by name, but it was a brown one. Was it Wicket? No.
No, it was like Papal or something. I don't know, but this is pretty good.
I can look here.
I actually hadn't noticed the Scout helmet. That's cool.
And Rob, you asked if I was going to go over the Hasbro Scout helmet tonight. We already did that.
Oh, did you?
Oh, we can pull it up again. You seem
no, it's okay. No, I just wondered. I thought it only got announced on 2 weeks ago.
I think it was a little bit longer than that. But either way, we did talk about it.
Well,
I didn't realize Ewoks only had 3 fingers. That's interesting.
Oh, it is interesting.
Nub. Let's see.
As well as that's executed, I don't like how perfectly spotty he is. It kind of reminds. I'm not going to be a dick, but it reminds me of like the Jazz Inc. Snowspeeder.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yeah, the other one's better.
No, was it? I thought there was another one that went with the drumming. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I saw this and just assumed the two. I don't know. I think these are well done.
Ooh, that's interesting. I'm almost tempted to get this to go along with my sideshow
diorama. Yeah.
the Stormtrooper.
Man, that web exclusive one's cool.
Oh, that would be kind of cool. That would be a good idea, Steve.
Yeah. And what
Just
scale?
scale-
Oh, is that 1/5?
Yeah, that's the only issue.
But that's 1/6. That's close.
Close, yeah.
They're Hazard Blue. They're 1/6. Both of these.
1/6 scale, which is great. If you're a 6 scale collector, this is going to go fit in perfect.
It's funny, Rob. You mentioned the Hasbro Scout Trooper. They announced that, and I was like, "Oh, but I already have one on order with RS." Darn.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm not gonna have to get the Hasbro one. That was a joke about the quality of Hasbro being shit. Thanks for laughing. I'll be here all week.
You know, I gotta say, for the money, and for those who, don't need that lineage and detail, they actually aren't that bad. I remember having the Kylo Ren. I had the Stormtroopers, and for $80 or $100, they're not bad helmets. I mean, they're not great, but they're not bad for the money. I want to emphasize.
Don't ask Rob. Rob's going to shit all over him.
No, I totally agree.
You're known for.
I think Rob has a fair.
The most famous video ever is you shitting over a Hasbro helmet, right?
No, it's the EFX.
Oh, what? No, was it EFX? I thought it was Hasbro.
No, it was the Black Series.
It was both of them. Yeah. It's not. I'm not, obviously. I'm not going to buy one, but I think it's great that it's available. Why not?
For an entry level collector, if you want a couple of helmets, and I mean for $80 or 85, I mean, and 9 out of 10 times they usually go on sale too.
For any collector, if you've got that itch, and that's going to do it for you, why not?
No, what I think, Rob, too, and this.
I'm sure I've got stuff in my collection that other people would look at and think, "Oh no."
I think that's true. What I think is good about the Black Series helmets, and I'll say the same for like the Galaxy's Edge or even the Black Series Sabers, is they're a good starting point to get into helmets. And as you start to learn and understand the differences, because usually there's like a graduating stage of you get a Black Series helmet, then you kind of move to like the Etsy stage and you find something custom and it's a little bit more detail, looks a little better. And someone tells you RS.
I think the Black Series is probably better than the Etsy stage.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I think it's much cleaner and much better produced. But you're probably
going to get it for one.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like that's kind of the stage in which people graduate. And then eventually you see those people who bought the Black Series say, hey, I'm trying to get this or upgrade to that. Where's the best place to go? And then everybody just bombards them. RS. So eventually all bad helmets will lead to RS.
Well, I don't.
So the more Black Series helmets that come out is good for you.
Well, even if they don't, it depends what your collection is and how it evolves. Yeah. You may bypass it completely and go from Black Series helmets to statues, or you may just stick with them. Yeah, I mean you could stick with them, but there's no stigma with that.
I think it's a good cost-effective way to put together a pretty nice-looking collection for sure. Because on display they do look nice. But same with the Black Series Sabers. I mean, I see people do the same thing. They start off with those, and as they start to learn and research and become part of forums and boards and showcase their collection, they start to learn about KR and core band and stuff like that.
It all depends if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, mostly, yeah.
And if you don't want to do, this is the collector's journey, isn't it? It depends what your direction of travel is going to be. But I think it's great that it's coming out, and I think it's not that long ago that you just could not get anything. You had to do the Etsy route. That's even before Etsy. You had to do the forum route, didn't you?
Or rubies.
You never really wanted to go the eBay route back in the day. Now eBay is pretty much dying. It's going away of PayPal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just going to be something that we used to use once.
It's like MySpace.
Yeah, people start wearing eBay T-shirts and they're like, huh? And we used to buy stuff on eBay.
I know. eBay these days is like it's crazy. The price that used to be the go-to for like justifying market prices, and I do deals with people and they take eBay sold listing shots and they're like, oh, this is the value, and I'm kind of like, well, if I trust you and I'm cool with you, all right, but otherwise I'm like, don't use that as a guide because it's all over the map.
Mm-hmm.
When Steve was talking about a range trooper helmet, I was about to say I remember early on when the Nissan helmets came out, the Death Trooper was like an edition of 500, and then the Last Jedi Trooper with the black spot, I forget what he's, Incinerator Trooper, so then there was only 100, and the Ranger only 100. And I remember getting it for like, I don't know, $300. I think Chris even got one for $300, and now they're on eBay for like $1,000, $2,000, and people calling it like the holy grail of pieces. And I was like, these are although there were only 100 of them, half of them ended up on eBay for 6 months at like between $200 and $300.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a Nissan thing.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Casca Reeves mini bust.
She doesn't look too bad either, Steve.
No, not too bad. I mean, yeah,
I gotta say that's not bad.
Well, I tell you, and enjoy her now because the next one's going to be fun.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Even the helmet looks good.
Yeah, the helmet doesn't.
No Gentle Giant session is complete without a little bit of fire.
In this crazy world of equality that we live in,
No.
why do they?
Hold that thought.
You
Hold
put
that
the
thought.
banner.
1 second. Okay, go ahead.
Why do the female Mandos have to have like a girlified helmet?
That's right. That's not very woke, is it?
What's I just don't see the need for it.
Well, blame Rebels because I think that's where it started with Sabine. Right? Like it.
Whether you like it or not, the helmet is. He's right. The helmet's very effeminate.
Do we? I don't know. Just it doesn't appeal to me greatly. I'm just wondering why they feel the need to do that.
Well, now I'm debating what the other.
Let you know that the character is a woman in the armor. I mean, you can tell from the form.
You could tell from the chest armor. Yes.
Yeah.
But even you know what? Even if that
Interesting.
wasn't the case, I think the helmet alone is it's very effeminate. Not in a bad way. I think it's a great design, but it just says female all over it.
Mm.
I don't know if I mind that. I say this as a feminist. Like, I don't have an issue with their helmet looking different from a man's helmet. It's more that they're included at all, or that the armor is practical. It's not like the video game shit where like they're just wearing a metal bikini, and that's going to help them from like blaster fire.
Well, I guess what I took from it, CC, that's interesting too, right? Like the differential, right? Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, you eventually just kind of take it for granted and don't even notice it. But at the same time, with the whole Mandalorian aspect of Mandalore, you would just assume boy, girl, whatever would all have the same, maybe color variations, but the all same style helmet for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of like the design of the female helmets.
Yeah, I think Milks and Moof is kind of referencing. I don't remember exactly what the controversy was, but I know there's been a few movies that have been called out for the fact that I think there's a fine line between having armor or some like battle armor or whatever that looks feminine without being like, okay, do they really need it to be that like anatomically correct as far as like how form fitting it has to be to the body, where it's like
sexy armor.
Yeah, where it's like you could still like there's no, I don't think anyone's saying like people cannot be feminine. It's more of like, does it have to be so in your face obvious that it's not the armor.
Yeah, like, do we have to beat you over the head with it? Yeah, you're right. So that's a good way of going about it. Like, you can imply or make a reference, but
Emphys was actually a good example of a non kind of feminine armor,
that's a
wasn't
great
it?
example.
Because that shocked you when the helmet came off.
And what's interesting about that, Rob, is although it was
I physically recoiled.
Yeah, and what I think is interesting though is once she takes her helmet off, you take a minute and you look at her body and you say, "Oh, she does have a feminine physique. It's not like very hidden, kind of like Balja was, you know." Yeah, it's interesting the whole take on that. But hey, look at James Toya's comment, Rob. It says that's how he found out about RS. Is he got his first Black Series helmet, looked up what was going to be better. I can't tell you if I had a nickel for every time I saw that somebody buying a Black Series helmet and then saying, "Hey, this is great, but what tops it?" And everybody says RS.
Yeah, but you don't have to though. Don't.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to.
You can enjoy the Black Series forever.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, and for they did the was it the Phase 1 clone? I don't think the people have them in hand yet, but like that's not something that you guys would make. And when the Scout, what I liked, and I think not me painting it obviously because that's not a good idea, but I thought about if you could paint the Scout helmet, I would feel a lot more comfortable having like the Hasbro painted to look like one of the ones from Rebels, which I know not a lot of people are big fans of, but versus something like an RS, like that's not something I'd want to touch or modify in any way. And then I think there's been a few questions if any of us got the Costco Reeves hybrid helmet. I did not.
I did not know.
Okay.
It's not, to me, it's a fine helmet, but it's not like, oh, I've got to have that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's well done. I think it's a beautiful piece. I gotta say, although a lot of my collection has been dwindling down quite a bit, as I curate more and put more time, effort, and energy into specific pieces, my helmet collection specifically has come down. It has just decreased at such a rate that I was surprised. It's like, and this isn't nothing I'm saying now is intentional, but it literally is limited to, I don't know if I have anything outside of an RS helmet in my collection other than the 2 Nissan ones and then one other random custom one from a few years back. But I think every helmet there is a RS and then a couple of Macquarie concepts that, EFX and 2 customs. But even that, just the research of, updating them with the found parts and the original pieces and things like that, or, it's crazy how many helmets have that I've shrunk down to. Because I used to have a ton. I had a mixed batch of, the Black Series. And CC, the reason why I brought that up is because I used to like getting the Black Series helmets to customize, right? Because for $80, it's like if you mess up, something goes wrong, whatever, you could have a lot of fun with doing different things with them. I toyed around with my Kylo Ren helmet. I toyed around with some of the Stormtrooper helmets. I had a GameStop local that had a bulk of Stormtrooper Black Series helmets on sale for like $60 or $70 one time, and I bought like 5 of them, and I was doing all kinds of fun things to them. And it's just better to have have a go at that than a lineage style helmet for sure.
I do still hate the Boba Fett one though, but it's a step forward from do you remember the Hasbro kids one with the massive big deep visor?
Yeah, the big huge. Yeah, the big.
It's a step forward from that one.
Yeah.
But
I'm using it as a placeholder.
I've seen
for a better one.
I've seen people using, repainting those ones.
You see some really decent ones.
The big visor things, but the problem with the Black Series Fett one is the huge clunky ears and rangefinder for me.
Yeah.
You can't just paint over that. It's still going to be a big, fat ear.
All right, let's move on to the next.
Come on, hit us with the next one. This is going to be good.
This is going to be primo.
Bada 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 boom. Oh no! We cracked.
Oh, So
Come
is this from Family Guy?
Look at how accurate the blue eyes are. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
This isn't Obi-Wan. This is Obi-Lost.
Come
This is
on.
Obi after a 3-day binge with cocaine and hookers.
Those eyes, he's like high as a kite. He's like, I can smell colors.
I guess. Oh my god. Synesthesia or acid. I love it.
I bet there are some absolutely stunning Obi-Wan cosplayers out there who are like, Jesus, yeah, that's me. That's me.
Look how good it is. Come on, guys.
You know what's funny though? In all seriousness, so people were slagging off the Superman premium format, the Christopher Reeves, and because the face, like the sculpt looked good, the prototype looked good, but the actual production, it looked like crap. And maybe I'm having like deja vu because maybe I've said this before, but Mila, who used to be on the show, who collected Hot Toys, yeah, so she repainted the face of one of those premium formats, and it looked fucking incredible. And as soon as I saw
she
that,
did
I
a
was
great
like,
job at that.
that tells you that the sculpt was fine. It was the paint that sent it all downhill. So,
Yeah,
like,
we
this might look
Sure.
decent.
Yeah.
Cece,
Yeah.
you are right. Maya used to do that, and I've seen a couple other people take even like hot toy or third party company style heads and repaint them, and you're like, wow, it's apples and oranges. I mean that can be said for certain like models and things like that. It's the actual piece is great, but the paint application isn't, and it's just one of those things where you can see that what's under the I guess you'd kind of say like it's like a car with a bad body with a good engine, so to speak.
Come on, guys.
He just looks like he was smoking something strong. I don't know.
Check this out. They were so they have paid so little attention to detail that this guy's got a brown stain on his nose.
It may have rubbed in the packaging on its way to be photographed.
And then they took it out and put it up there and took photos of it with the brown stain on the nose. That's how.
Steve, that just happened during his escapades last night. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where he was diving into.
Hey, is that that looks like Jawa? Wait a second. Oh, never mind. Okay, but
I'll give you this one, Steve. I'll give you this one. He looks like he's been wearing a short trooper helmet.
okay.
It took a minute. It took you a minute.
Hot box.
That's
Okay.
Steve's favorite joke.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. I left that behind, but since you brought it up,
No. I gave you a little taste.
rotation. It's. I mean, come on. Did they not think when they were putting this up that maybe they should get a version that doesn't have a shit stain on his nose to photograph?
Steve, put up Moff McClunky's. Put up his.
Comment.
That he nailed it. He went to tonight. Yes. You guys know this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Steve, maybe they got it out of the box and they were like, "Oh my god, it's got this mark on the nose," and then the photographer guy's like, "It's okay, we'll get it in post."
Yeah, exactly. We'll correct it in post.
Man. You go from Casca to we lost as CC said.
It's not bad though, to be fair. I don't think it's that
Compared to
bad.
their other ones.
It's no Dooku.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's no Dooku.
No, that's
I don't
this is
problem.
true.
Nothing's gonna top.
It does look a little bit more of a caricature than a portrait. But it's no
Whenever I
Dooku.
look at these,
Dooku looks like he's surprised.
He does. He's like, they made me into a bust? Why? I didn't ask for this. It always makes me think like they're halfway there, right? The reason why they look so bad is because they have the Star Wars license, but they don't have permission from the Guinness estate to actually make his likeness. So they have to meet halfway in the middle, That's what it makes me think of. It's like, well, you can make Count Dooku, but it can't beat Christopher Lee, Count Dooku.
He does. I do see the Family Guy thing. Especially with him holding that, he's like, "This was your father's butt plug." It's like, no.
Where's Matt when you need him?
It's pretty cool though. I don't think it's on a Dooku level. Dooku's still my favorite.
Yeah, Dooku's still gonna be trash. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Dooku needs to be recalled.
I think if you had the Dooku, you could quite happily put it in the bin. I don't think I could put this one in the bin. I don't think it's that. I wouldn't get a satisfaction from putting it in the bin.
I just don't want anyone, like, if we do a Secret Santa next year, I just don't want anyone to get ideas with that Dooku.
I already considered that this year.
Where, like, one of us is, like, the Oprah of Dookus. You get a Dooku, and you get a Dooku, and you're getting a Dooku.
Hey, Cece, speaking of Secret Santa, did you get your prints in the end?
No.
Oh, my God.
So, I think I'll have to, so, I forget what it was, but I did get an update saying they had finally moved. Like, the tracking had updated, that they had been in London. But that was quite a while ago now. And I haven't received them. But to be fair, like, I have a friend who's been trying to ship me something it was after Christmas, but he's been trying to send me something for a few weeks, and he said that the Royal Mail had, like, a cyber attack.
Oh, yeah.
Sending anything internationally. But you think...
I don't know. I don't know if I believe the cyber attack thing, but you've not been able to send anything Royal Mail out the country for about a month now.
It's been a while.
They have just sorted it out.
Okay.
2-3 days ago.
Well, he just told me recently, he was like, I was half tempted to just wait until Celebration and give it to you in person. Because, you know, that's around the corner. But, and the artist had said that typically when he sends stuff internationally, it takes a while before it actually, like, leaves, I think, his local area. But he had said, I actually contacted him about a totally different print. And he did one of the new Naboo Starfighter that I really liked. And so I asked him if he had any, and he said he would check. And he mentioned, I was like, well, I'm in the U.S., and he said, yeah, it tends to take a while for them to get over there, but I can do that. And I said, well, it's funny, like, a friend of mine bought prints for me for Christmas, and I still haven't gotten them. And he was like, is your friend named Polly, by the way? And I was like, yeah, that's him. And he was like, both of us are shaking our heads as to what the heck happened, but he was like, if you haven't gotten them soon, just get in touch and I'll send another set out. And I just haven't done that yet. So, yeah, but I need to. As Steve's
eating, and I'm hungry.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we're out of material.
I'm okay because I've got about 20 minutes to wait, and McDonald's starts serving breakfast, so I'm going to be good soon.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think we can wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. It was fun. Did some good stuff tonight, and yeah.
Real quick though, can I just ask, does anyone off the top of their head know when Mando starts? Is that March 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason, is it next Wednesday then that we're doing the 3 in the morning? For Shelter in Space?
So, yes.
Okay. I'll ask Matt, but yeah, I think for anyone who tuned in for that, I think we got a lot of UK people, honestly, because it's in the morning for them. I think it'd be like 8 in the morning for you, Rob, but it was 1 o'clock my time, 1 in the morning. So that was midnight Matt's time, and then 3 a.m. your time, Jason. But we'll watch them live, just like we did with Book of Boba Fett. So looking forward to that.
Sounds good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.